Hello friends, this is Akul Mac Live and I am Chandrakant. We want to discuss about the agreement between India and UK, and as you know that the value of this agreement is £1 billion, which is almost equal to 1.4 billion US dollars. And this agreement will create a lot of opportunities for enterprises across the border, across the oceans. And to discuss this very news which happened last week, I have been joined by a very distinguished business leader joining us from UK. Before we start our discussion, I must tell you friends that there is a giveaway, and you please stick around till the end of the video. In the end, we will tell you how you can win your free gift. Hello, friends. Let me welcome our guest today. His name is Mr. Naval Gun. He is the chairman of Mindfit Limited, joining us from London. And we will be discussing about the UK-India treaty. And it's very important between two countries, two nations, which is UK and India. And that is why Naval's input will be very, very important. So, stick around for an outstanding show.
Good morning, CK. Good morning, everybody. Yes, was some good news at last. Trade talks between the UK and India, a great bond between two countries, two economic superpowers in the world. And we look forward to the relationship. We've got thousands, millions of Indians in the UK, and that just reinforces the bond, doesn't it?
Absolutely. In fact, we really need this kind of arrangement between UK and India, especially now. I'm just assuming a few things because I may not be knowing from my intellect that the UK has come out of EU and they would need India's support to support their business. At the same time, India would need a lot of know-how and a lot of investment from UK. So it's both ways. It cuts both ways. I think this agreement is very, very important for both countries.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, yep, we've had the Brexit arrangement, so we're now officially just we're not a member of the European Union. We're just a partner with the European Union. And they're on our doorstep, but frankly, the world's so small that India's on our doorstep too. In some respects, but I think we've probably got more Indians in the UK than we've got Europeans. I can't say that for true, but I certainly know an awful lot of people around the country that have got not just their birthplace in India, but lots of relationships with India and the Asian part of the world. So yeah, it's a trade deal. What does it mean? It means something quite simple, is that there is a free movement of goods between one country and another. And frankly, I think that's what we should be doing around the world, wherever we've got, similar relationships, similar beliefs and behaviors, so that we can actually get the best from everybody. You say quite rightly, the UK's got some investment. Well, India's not too far behind on the investment front, CK. They're coming up the world ranking. And whereas the UK now is only a partner with the European Union, I think in many respects, we're now looking at the benefits of the old Commonwealth. I won't call it the British Commonwealth because those terms have died over many years. It's now the Commonwealth. And what's the purpose of the Commonwealth, if not but to trade? So you've got literally 52, 53 countries that have relationships with each other over many years for whatever reason. And now is the opportunity to cement some of those real entrepreneurial options, to cement them home and help SMEs deal with SMEs across the Commonwealth, as corporates have dealt with corporates for many years. So from an SME point of view, CK, what was one of the highlights of this trade agreement?
Well, Naval, from what I've read in the press and also what I've understood so far is that it is a series of agreement that India and UK are going to announce, and they are being discussed as we speak today. And the ultimate goal is basically to get a free trade treaty done. And the first agreement, which was announced last week between UK and India, was worth £1 billion, and it's a big deal. And along with that agreement, there was also an announcement that India and UK would like to double their revenue, trade revenue, by 2030. So I think I'm assuming that there has to be a free trade treaty, which is not yet announced, but it must be in the workings right now. And to answer your question, as an SME, I would expect a freedom of paying money and receiving money, which is not yet enabled between UK and India, because there is a lot of withholding tax, etc. So while I can receive money from outside India, but I cannot engage with experts, or I cannot engage with people in the UK without paying withholding tax. So that's I think that will be ironed out with the free trade treaty once it is announced. But in this one, there are at least 100 Indian companies investing in UK, and as part of the trade agreement, there will be about 6 to 10,000 new jobs for Britishers in the UK, and a lot of pharmaceutical support being provided by UK to India, and all of this is worth £1 billion, which is 1.4 billion US dollars.
Which is it's a good start, and it's an expectation. Now it's up to those relevant communities to make that a historical number so that we beat it. Because although when these trade agreements start, they have an expectation, they're really just sort of looking into blue sky as to see what might happen. And I think one of the biggest arenas out there is, as you say, it's this tax issue. So it's all right having a free trade agreement or even a trade agreement between two countries. It's how money moves. How can money move easier? What are the mechanisms where we can literally transfer from my bank account to your bank account, knowing that we're both regulated. You can't have a bank account unless you're a real person. I can't have a bank account unless I'm a real person. So we've got literally two banks that have got to trust each other so that their due diligence is covered by our due diligence. So that's one of the issues, and it's one of the biggest trading issues that we have around the world. The second thing is people, how people move. Now, I know a lot of Indians come to the UK to go to university. And I also know that a lot of Indians come to the UK in the medical arena. We have tens of thousands of nurses and doctors in the UK that are practicing real life medicine. These are not just trainees, these are qualified people. And it's because we've got that good relationship with India, which is fantastic. And we should do more of it, because if we can do that, then it's going to be the best for both economies. But one of the biggest issues that I have when I travel, even to India, is that although we're part of the same Commonwealth, I have to get a visa. And likewise, you have to get a visa to come here. But I think what's been recognised in this trade agreement is that the under-30s, let them move freely. Let them go from one place to another. And I think that in some respect is a bit of a recognition that we do have lots of nurses and doctors. In this COVID arena, we can focus on one particular area. And if it weren't for Indian doctors and nurses coming to the UK, we would have really struggled in COVID. So let's be honest about the situation and move forward, because it's a huge training ground just for the medical arena. And it's not surprising, I think, therefore, that they've focused on pharmaceuticals. But this is just the first step. And let's hope there's an even bigger step coming through.
Well, it is definitely going to be big. In fact, one more thing which they have ironed out is basically exchange of fugitives on both sides, because there could be people who have committed frauds and fled from one country to other. So exchange of fugitive is also part of this agreement, and they are also trying to make a bilateral agreement where the business can recognize each country's laws and bylaws. So I think these are very, very important. And in fact, after this agreement was announced, I have been contacted by 2 UK solicitors already, asking me that if I would love to open an office in UK. So I think the people have already read through the fine print and they have started realizing the opportunities.
It's good because, I mean, I wouldn't say solicitors are the best entrepreneurs out there, frankly. But the fact that they've literally come to you immediately to say, well, if we're going to have this trade agreement, let's look at other opportunities. Do you want to open a bank account? Do you want to open an office? Do you want a virtual office? They're the obvious things, and it's good that people are thinking that way. And what we need more of that type of thinking. We need more of that type of collaboration. And of course, unlike other parts of the world, which seem to be in, continuous conflict, I think one thing that we've got between India and the UK since 1947 is that we haven't had that conflict. We've had that camaraderie that we need to reinforce and make it, more solid, if such a phrase exists. I mean, you are 6,000 miles away, approximately, but there's no reason why we can't have that umbilical cord between the two of us that's never broken.
Absolutely, Neville. In fact, I'm just waiting for this free trade agreement, because that will have a lot of big impact. And as part of the visa agreement also, bilaterally, both countries would agree that 18 to 30 age group people will be allowed to move freely without any visa for jobs. And, you can just buy the ticket and travel. So this is the first instance where up to 30 is the age limit, but I think they can also increase it to 45 maybe in future. But I think that is how they want to start slowly. But important thing is they want to double their trade value by 2030. So there are a lot of opportunities which are going to come between UK and India, because so far India has been serving, especially certain industries have been serving mostly United States. So UK being available as a large economy for Indians, SMEs will be very good, because they can then produce, manufacture things for the UK global market. And also leverage the consulting services which are available in UK, because UK people work globally. So there could be a lot of intelligence which could be available for consumption of Indian SMEs and startups.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And let's look at the basics of what trade is. I would like something you've got because yours is better than ours. And maybe better might just mean cheaper, but it may be there's more of it, and I now have security of supply. And you like what I've got because you haven't got that either. It's a mutual agreement. It's a beneficial agreement, and that's where we need to remember where the foundations of this start. Trade is really important, not just for your own economy, but for the world stage. And if we don't really start to trade in the best way, we're not going to hit these SDG targets, these Sustainable Development Goal targets that we're all now aware of SDG 2030. My challenge to everybody is, why 2030? Why not 2025? Let's bring it forward 5 years. Let's, if these SDGs are that important, let's bring those targets forward. Let's make these reality. And of course, these trade agreements effectively create that opportunity, because without them, we're not going to meet these targets. As simple as that.
And I also urge the electric vehicle manufacturers or people who are indulging in electric vehicle arena, I think they should look at this agreement very closely, because there are a lot of things happening a lot of SOPs being provided in this agreement, this current agreement, which has been signed last week. But I think more to come. So we will stay tuned and follow this news, Naval, and discuss the future agreements. I think our vision is to get up to the level of free trade agreement. So I think that is where it should end between UK and India.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You mentioned EV, and it's really important. We need to mention the fact that by 2030, no more combustion engine in the UK. No more manufacture of combustion engine in the UK. What that means is everything, or there won't, it means that there will be combustion engines around in the 2030s, but they're not being manufactured. That is a massive, massive opportunity. It's a huge ask, by the way, from the current state of play to less than 9 years' time now. You know, we're into 2021. We're no longer in COVID 2020. It's now 2021. So a great way to end the show today, CK, on an up, on a high. And to all you entrepreneurs out there, start thinking, start getting those opportunities moving. Because if you haven't, you're going to miss the boat.
Absolutely, Naval. And thank you so much for joining us today morning. To make this announcement, to analyze this particular agreement between UK and India. But we will catch up with you again tomorrow on something more interesting.
Cheerio.
We have some unique Akulmek memorabilia which will make you look outstanding. The graphics on these corporate gifts are based on the global best business practices. To become recipient of one of these gifts for free, you have to watch this video till the end and provide your valuable comments, or you can also share your experiences. The person who makes the best comment would be chosen to become a recipient of these beautiful Akulmek gift, absolutely free, delivered to your doorsteps. The winner would also get a chance to be invited live as a distinguished panelist during our next video. What are you waiting for, friends? Please subscribe Akulmek and smash that like button.